Alrighty, welcome to the third episode of the podcast. I can't shut up, so I made a podcast. Welcome. Today we have Thebard 6 as my co-host, and we will be talking about movies and games. Would you like to introduce yourself and tell people who you are, what you do, what you like?
Yes, hello, I'm the Bard 6, or Christian, I go by as well. I'm just a guy with a full-time job, and I've been streaming for the past 7 years on my YouTube channel. And yeah, I like streaming, I like playing games, and yeah.
You're a gamer. You're a gamer streamer gamer. All
Pretty
right.
much.
What do you like to stream?
Oh, I love streaming games like Apex Legends.
Apex Legends.
Yeah, I love playing games like Apex Legends. I play a lot of Helldivers 2 recently. I love playing Bloons Tower Defense 6. Yeah, and just all sorts of games. You can name them. Mostly like survival or battle royale games for the most part, but I sprinkle some others in there occasionally.
Alrighty. So since we have a lot of topics of games, we are gonna start with movies. I recently actually watched Inside Out, but before I get into that, um, what is you sometimes watch movies, right?
Yeah, on occasion.
Do you ever go to the movie theater, or do you watch them at home, or like a bit of both?
I'll be honest, I haven't been to the movie theater since the Super Mario Bros. Movie. I went with
Okay.
some friends, so I haven't been. I wanted to go for a more recent movie, but it ended up getting out of the movie theater before I could go. So it takes confidence. I have to work up confidence to go to the movie theater. So usually I
Confidence?
watch them on my
Why?
phone. Because I'm all alone, and I'm like, should I go? Do I want to go alone? Do I want to be the lone guy at the movie theater? And then I'm like, do I want to go out in general? It's hot outside. I don't know. I'll
Truth
stay
be
inside and
told,
watch it
a
on my phone.
lot of people go to movies by themselves. I live in a city and I go to the movies all the time by myself because family is busy, right?
Yeah.
And I go and by myself because who else is gonna come with me? I invite my mom, but she's like, I want to understand anything that they're saying, and I'm like, it's okay, you can come and fall asleep on the chair because the chairs are so comfortable. So I was like, you can just sit there and sleep, and she doesn't want to, and I'm like, okay, well.
To be fair, if somebody was inviting me out to just end up going to sleep, I'd be like, I'll just hop in bed anyways. If I'm
Yeah,
going to
but
sleep.
sleeping at the movie theater is it's just oh my god, it's just I used to do it all the time when I worked there, and oh my god, it's so
Like,
great.
you were probably getting paid though, so you get to go to sleep and get paid, right?
I would sleep during not work hours, obviously. I remember one
Why?
time I went to the movie theater. No. After work, I watched a movie with a friend, and I missed out on the entire movie. But it's okay because I didn't have to pay for it.
Oh,
It
there you
was
go.
for
Okay.
free because I worked there.
wait. Did somebody else paid for you to watch the movie, right?
No. I worked there
Okay.
at the time, so we get them for free. We can watch movies for free if you work at the theater.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Wait, how does that work? Do you get to just sit in the audience? Like you're just like, this is my free movie of the day. Like you sit next to a family, like, hey, I work here.
You just sit there.
Wow. Okay, that's awesome.
I think I would like it better if I could go upstairs where the projectors are, which we were able to go up there, but not to watch a movie. They didn't allow us to do that.
What would you do? Like smoke pot?
No, you just go up there and it's kind of creepy up there. I don't
Huh.
know. Since you're a gamer and you sometimes watch movies, what is well, first off, what is your favorite movie? If you have a favorite movie.
Favorite movie. So it changes every few years or so, depending on what I watch. That I think is really good. But probably the most recent one that I really liked was Everything Everywhere All at Once. I don't know if you've seen that.
Oh yes, I watched it as soon as it came
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, I did. I obviously did because I don't go to the movie theater, but I caught it on like a streaming service. I think it was Amazon Prime, and I thought it was fantastic.
Oh my god! So like, why did you think it was fantastic? What was it? The story or the visuals? Like,
Yeah, do I go into spoilers or should I just keep it spoiler free?
um, it's been out for a while. You can tell spoilers, but like, obviously, like kind of like you're telling me about the movie that I haven't watched it, right? So
Okay.
just think of it
So
like that.
I'll avoid spoilers, but I just think it's a really it's a really great acted. Okay, so I mean, you asked like, does it like is it like it?
What do you like about the
It has
movie,
great.
basically?
Yeah, I like pretty much everything. I think the acting's fantastic. I think the premise, the story, and everything is fantastic. It's just a really interesting movie that dives into mental health and in a really fun and creative way that I haven't seen before.
All right, all right. I remember when I went in to watch it, like after seeing the trailers, the movie looked like I wasn't really gonna enjoy it. So the trailer to me was very deceiving. I was like,
Yeah.
what the fuck is going on? But like, I'm the type that I'm willing to watch a movie regardless of what the trailer looks like, just because of that reason. Because like sometimes you don't know if the movie's actually good if you like take the time to watch it. Now you don't have to, but that's just the way I do it. And I went in to watch it, and honestly, I kind of liked that it wasn't like, I got the feeling from the movie that it wasn't like they did such a good film that it wasn't particularly like badass. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think I
Like they
know
don't
what you mean.
try to be cool. They don't try to make it epic. Like the main protagonist is basically a mom.
Yes.
For those who haven't watched it, you guys should watch it. I think it's available on Netflix and Amazon, I think I saw it on either or of those. I don't remember. Um, it is available this time. And it's a very good movie to, like, if you have a daughter or son or whatever, or family. It's a very good movie to watch with family. Or you can watch it by yourself. But it's the premise of the movie is basically um from what I understood, mostly, if I remember correctly, because it's been a while now,
Mhm.
it is a lady uh, that has a business of a laundry um,
Yes.
business,
A laundromat.
and she wants to do more than just that, I think. Or she magically found a power that she could, like, be places, or like, is it teleportation or
I believe it's
traveling
like
through time?
different. Yeah, I think it's different universes. Like it's like
Oh, right,
parallel
right, right.
universes and stuff. And I believe her husband from a different universe is the one that like pulls her in the first place. Like
Yeah.
she's going the beginning of the movie. She's going to an office to do paperwork for her laundromat, and her husband from like a different parallel universe like is like, hey, wait, you are more important than this. You need to do more important things, and then it starts going insane from there.
Right. And um okay, so she needs, okay, so wait, why did they do the whole paperwork? Was it like bills that they haven't paid? I don't remember. So I'm actually very curious. I
Yeah,
don't
I think
remember.
I'm pretty sure like from what I remember of the movie. It's been a little while too, but like there's this woman that like basically does inspections on them and everything, and like they have to fill out paperwork every like year, I believe. So like this is kind of like their annual checkup, and they've kind of been messing up the past couple years or so. And so like the general idea is like everything at the beginning is like them getting ready for like this checkup on their business, and they have to make sure like everything's perfect.
Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah. So it is available on Netflix right now, so you guys should check it out. It's it. I was so confused. Okay. The movie is called Everything Everywhere All at Once. It came out last year, and it's an action and science fiction. No, sci-fi, I think.
Yeah.
Movie
It's kind of
and
like that.
It's a great movie. I think it also shows a lot. From what I got from it is the struggle of like understanding like mother to daughter or father to like parent to child, right? And that's what I got from it. Also, it is a good movie for a parent to understand and give their kid who is growing up the chance of growing up in general. That's what I remember from it. I don't know. I don't know if maybe you could confirm that for me.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's about family and like learning to accept people for the person they are. It's a lot about acceptance, because the general theme for the most part is their daughter's kind of like different from their traditional Asian family. So like basically the movie is them coming to terms with sometimes people, even if you raise them in the way that you think is right, they'll end up different, and not wanting to change them because they're different, but learning to accept them because they're different.
All right. All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's very good.
I agree. I think people should at least give it a chance before they're like, nah. Okay. Well, kind of like staying in the same topic of change, since you brought up change. Have you watched Inside Out, like the first movie?
No, I haven't watched either of the Inside Outs.
Well, I watched the second one recently, and I want to talk about it because if I don't talk about it, I'm gonna lose it. But I think you would like Inside Out. I think, me personally, I like the second one better, and I will explain why. But first, I want to touch the first movie because you just haven't watched it. And I wouldn't say I'm giving you spoilers. I'm just giving you the, like, the why you should at least try to watch it. I don't think you have to watch the first one to watch the second one if you think you would like the second one better. But basically the first movie, Inside Out, is a Pixar movie. It came out, I don't know how long ago, but it's been a while, like I don't know how long. And basically is our emotions, how emotions work. And they follow, they're like inside, obviously. I know this is gonna sound wrong. I know this is gonna sound wrong. Bear with me, okay? They're little people that are like emotions. There's joy, sadness, disgust, I think, and anger, and I don't know, the other one's like being scared. I don't remember the name.
I think it's fear.
Fear, yeah. And basically they're watching the girl grow up. So she's a baby. They see broccoli, and then discuss is just like, yeah, no, she's not eating that. It's actually very fun to watch. Especially
relatable.
Yeah, especially like it makes me want to like, oh my gosh, like, can you imagine if that's how it is inside us? Like, that would be crazy. But anyways, That also reminds me of that one movie. I don't no. It was a cartoon back in the days. OC and Drix or something like that. It was like a pill. Like I don't remember the name. I don't remember the name, but I remember a show, and I believe it was on Disney XD, of a blue guy that would run around. He was like a cub.
No, never mind. I was like, maybe she's thinking of Osmosis Jones because that also has to do with
is he blue?
He is blue.
Does he have a companion that's like a pill?
He has a companion that's a wait,
like a partner. Wait. You know, because like the human took a pill or something.
He does. Let me put it in the chat real quick. There you go. There's a picture of it. That's it.
Yes, that movie or show. Okay, well, yeah. it had a movie at some point, but it was a show.
Yeah, it probably had a show. Had a show.
So it kind of reminded me of that when I first saw Inside Out. Yeah. So the first movie, basically the point of the first movie is that the character Joy, she wants to keep, like, obviously her human, like, happy and stuff, and sadness, like, she feels like she doesn't need sadness. So the emotion sadness gets, like, oh, I always screw up things, blah, 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 blah. And the point of the movie is basically, it is important to be sad. And that's what I like about it. Like, it is extremely important to be, to have all these emotions, and learn that every emotion, helps a lot. It, like, being angry is nothing bad. Like, being angry is important. Being sad is important. All the emotions are important and valid. And at some point, they learn, like Joy, who is always happy, they learn that sadness is important, because if you're sad, people reach out and they're like, hey, are you okay? Hey, this, hey, that. And then on the second movie, I love the second movie. And I know you will love the second movie. Even though you have not watched them, you don't even have to watch the first one. Just watch the second one. Okay. Because they introduce the anxiety emotion. They introduce what was it? Anxiety, envy, embarrassment, and boredom. Boredom. Okay. I can't say it. And it's the same concept as the first movie, but now anxiety, it like takes the spotlight, and Joy, whenever you're too happy, they from what I understood is that they explain that sometimes when you're too happy, you could technically be in denial. Like, if you don't want to deal with something, you just want to be happy, you throw that at the back of your head so you don't think about it. And I like the way they explain in, like, visuals how emotions could be like, they could be suppressed. They could, like, if you're only running on anxiety emotions, you tend to take the wrong actions. And I get anxiety attack all the time, and seeing anxiety on the screen, I'm like, okay, so this is okay. So, like, now I know, like, well, obviously not the same thing, but it did help me understand a little bit, like, why do I get anxiety? Like, why do I get nervous when I have to make an appointment or, like, something? But we need anxiety. Like I thought anxiety was just always, like, a bad thing. And when I watched this movie, I was like, okay, I could see how anxiety works, like, in a good way.
Interesting.
Yeah, like it's actually very interesting, and the other emotions are actually kind of cool too. So I think you should definitely check it out if you want to, obviously. But it is so cool. Like, and it's also very funny. There's like some adult like jokes, not like sexual or anything. Just like I'm like, oh man, like yup, adult life where you're just depressed all the time.
Yeah, our main emotion in our head is depression.
So that's pretty cool. I think you should definitely check it out. And people who haven't seen it, it's out in theaters. They usually last like 2 weeks. And if people are going in to watch it a lot, it will last like 3 to 4 weeks. So definitely go to the movie theater and check it out. Those of you guys that haven't watched it, pretty good.
Yeah, it sounds really interesting.
Oh, and it also has a lot of like finding yourself, which it reminded me a lot of you, because you're like you have said something like that about like high school days, like high school is to like find yourself, find who you are and stuff. So that's why I wanted to talk about it with you, because I know you have an eye for that a lot.
Yeah, I've experienced that personally.
Now, are there any like video game movies that you think that they have done a great job at? And I'm talking about movies, not series.
Oh, okay, no TV shows or anything.
No, I'm talking about movies.
Okay, so obviously movies, in terms of movies, video game movies have been notoriously pretty bad. Or at least that's what a lot of people say. I think there's some decent ones. But I did watch Sonic 2, and I'll be honest, it pushed nothing in terms of like, wow, this is amazing, but it's like a totally serviceable family film. I was like, I can understand why people like this. So I think the Sonic movies probably do a good job doing like video game adaptation, but in my opinion, the best video game movie has to be Resident Evil 1, the live action ones. I mean, obviously, all the animated Resident Evil movies are fantastic, but I actually think Resident Evil 1 is so good.
Resident Evil, like the one with the actress that.
Yeah, Mila Jovanovic, I think her name is.
Does that even count? Because, like, well, I mean. See, I'm thinking if that's like like I'm not saying like that it's not valid. I'm just wondering if like would that still like count as a video game movie, because like she's not in the game, but there's characters that are like in the movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah. In fact, if you technically define it by that, okay, so. One, in my opinion, does count because the whole, obviously spoilers for Resident Evil 1. This movie is like probably like 20 years old at least. But so Resident Evil 1 takes place in like the Umbrella Corps, like the Umbrella facility, which is, I believe, in Resident Evil 2, like the main part of the game. Like half of the game takes place in the underground Umbrella facility, so it takes place in there. Technically, it doesn't have any characters from the games in the first movie. It's all original characters for the first movie, but they are technically supposed to be like a they're supposed to be an operative force that is in the game. So I consider it a video game movie. In my opinion, it's almost like a fan fiction because it doesn't. Usually, Resident Evil takes place with the good characters, but the Resident Evil movie, the first one, takes place in the perspective from the bad characters. Like, this is the story that you wouldn't really see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
so I think it counts.
Okay. Yeah, I guess it's in the universe, so yeah, that makes sense. I just wasn't sure if like, how would I go about that? Like, does that count? How you seen the Monster Hunter movie? It has the same actress.
It does have the same actress, and I believe. So I think that, I don't know if this is true, but I think what I've heard is the director is the husband to that chick. I forget what her name is. I think it's Mila Jovanovic, but whoever she, I believe, is the wife of the director of those movies, and that's why she keeps getting cast in them. And I personally
That
think
sucks.
she's not bad. I don't think she's terrible though. But yeah, it is kind of like she's just getting the job because her. Let me. I should definitely double check that before I say that, but.
Well, you look that up. I haven't watched the movie. I've been wanting to watch it because everyone says it's bad, and I want to like. I don't like to go based on people's like comments, I guess. Just because there's been a lot of times um where people don't like something. I'm like, I fucking like this movie. A good example of what I'm talking about, and everyone's gonna disagree with me. Everyone's gonna be like, no, bro, like I'm gonna be hated online for this. But I really like the Marvel movie with Morbius, like the bad dude. I fucking loved it. I like it. In fact, I even bought it on Amazon so I could rewatch it. Like I have rewatched that movie more than twice, like more than 2 times. So but everyone hates it. I remember I worked at the theater at the time and I watched it and I asked like random people because I love that about that job that I had was that I would ask like, what do you think of the movie? And they would be like, no, not great, blah 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 blah. The visuals, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Like I'm over here like, what are you talking about? Like, can you do better? like go over there and make it better then. Like I don't know, I feel like people need to remember that we've gone so far with visual effects on movies that if they want to watch something like the Willy Wonka graphics, go like be my guest. Like if they want that, like, oh, like they're floating in the air and it looks really bad, that I can understand because they like we didn't have the technology for it. But nowadays, like I thought it was good enough. Like it didn't look bad. It wasn't amazing. But it was like okay. That was my take on that movie. Okay. But did you figure out about the husband wife thing?
So yeah, they are married. They were married. They got married after Resident Evil, so I'm assuming he kind of met her through her acting and then started casting her, and then they got married. So that might or may not be true, but yeah, she is the main. He did direct the Monster Hunter movie, and she is one of the main stars in it. So I mean, you could do with that what you will, I suppose.
Okay. I'm going to watch the movie, and next time you're in the podcast, I'll talk about it with you. You're like you can watch it too if you want to, but I'm gonna watch it.
The first Resident Evil movie?
No, the
Monster Hunter
Monster
movie.
Hunter. Yeah, I'm gonna watch it because I haven't watched it, so I don't have an opinion on it. But okay. I'm gonna watch it, and then next time that we do another episode, I'll talk about it with you and tell you my thoughts.
Yeah, I've heard it's bad, so I'll definitely watch it and see what I actually think.
Okay. Cool.
It'd be fun.
Well, since we're on topics of video games, there's a game that I've been wanting to talk to you about. But I'm gonna leave that at the end, and I'm curious about this. So I don't know nothing about it, and I know you do. Danganronpa. I'm saying it wrong. I know.
No, that's exactly you said. You okay. Danganronpa. Yeah, exactly. You say it just like that.
So what is that? Like it's a video game, right? Or is it an anime? Because I think there was an anime as well.
Yeah, I think it's a video game first, anime second, I believe. But yeah, I mean, Danganronpa. What is Danganronpa? Oh, it's fantastic, is what it is. To be fair, to give some backstory, I've only played the first and second one, and I've heard from friends that the third one ruins the first and second one, so I'm scared to play the third one now. But Danganronpa is it's so good, dude. Okay, you're a
I know
it always
nothing of
takes
it.
okay,
So
yeah, exactly. So spoilers, but like, always start off as you're the average kid. It's anime as fuck. You're like, wait, am I allowed to curse on the podcast?
yes, you're good.
Okay.
You're good.
Okay. It's anime as hell. So you start off as, you basically are like, I'm just the average student. Like, I'm just a normal kid. And you go into this, you get enlisted in this school where everybody's amazing. It's like the prodigal, like the prodigal cook, the prodigal hacker, the prodigal whatever. Like you can fit whatever you want in there. They have all of them. Like this is a school for the very best. And the only reason you got in is because out of all these people, they pick the best of the best, and then they will they have like a lottery for one random person, and basically you become the prodigal lucky character. That by getting picked into the school, you basically become the best at being just lucky. And so what happens is you get picked for this school, and as soon as you walk in the school, you fall asleep. You're like, oh, I'm gonna take a snooze, and then you wake up, and everybody's trapped in this fucking high school, and you have to figure out what the hell's going on. um,
Wait, didn't like don't like characters start dying and you had to figure out who's the killer or something?
exactly. That's the best part. So in order to escape this high school, you they offer all the students. They say, okay, you can get out of this high school. Like, okay, the real world's on the outside. We're gonna show you this to motivate you, but in order to get outside, you're gonna have to kill one of your fellow students, and if you get away with it without being discovered, you're scot-free, buddy. You're getting out of here. So basically, in order to get out, you have to kill somebody, but everybody has it's like an Ace Attorney trial. So you have everybody in a room together, and you debate each other, and you say, well, you're kind of looking sussy. And then they're like, I'm not looking sussy, bro. You look sussy. And then, yeah, you basically, you play these little, like, puzzles of trying to figure out who done it. Like, who killed the person. It's so good.
So what you're saying is Among Us, but
Exactly.
like anime.
Anime Among Us, exactly. Imagine if in Among Us, instead of 30 hours playing games with friends, you're listening to these anime characters talk about why they're sussy or not sussy. But it's so good. The way they build up the characters throughout the game is so fantastic. Like it's and then all the twists and it's so good.
Okay, so what makes the story like you're gonna like sell me and the rest on this game, okay? So
Okay.
what is it that's like, okay, yeah, sure, there's some like a killer and you need to investigate who it is, but you also need to kill someone and you're trying to get out. Okay, but what is it about it aside from all that? Like, is there like an epic character development? Is there like a twist? Like how can you sell this game? Like, you gotta sell me the game because I'm willing to play it as long as I know like what I'm getting into, I guess. But like,
okay, so if I'm giving you a sales pitch, you've watched Game of Thrones, right?
right? Yes.
Okay.
I love Game
So
of Thrones.
in Game of Thrones, a lot of people die. I've never watched it. I've just heard a lot of people die. All your favorite characters. Imagine Game of Thrones where you get to pick which character you're interested in. You get to talk with them and spend time with them. But every time you start a new chapter, you don't know if they're going to die or not. Like you don't know which character is going to die, but you get to spend time with all these characters. So you have to like, oh, this is my favorite character. And every time you start a new chapter, you're like, I hope to God that my favorite character doesn't die this chapter, because if they die, I'm going to kill myself.
I remember. Okay, so I know there's like a girl with pigtails. She looks really cute, but I think she's like a bitch, and I really like her. And I think I don't know if I watched you play it or I don't know, but I think like Yeah, like I was very sad because I really
Yeah.
liked her, and then you're like, yeah, she gone. I'm like, what the heck? But like I said, I don't know. Like I haven't played it. I haven't, I think I watched some like partially of the anime, but
Oh, okay.
I didn't got far in it. Like I think I saw like the boy and like everyone else is freaking out
Mhm.
because they're trapped there basically, and then they go to sleep and then another person ends up dead, and then people are
Yep.
freaking out, and that's all I've seen from it. Like I actually haven't like took the time to watch the anime or play the game. Now, would you recommend me to play the game first or like watch the anime first? Like, does it even matter?
I think if you watch the anime, I've not watched the anime, I'll be honest, but if I'm correct, I think the exact same thing happens in the anime. But in my personal opinion, with that game, being that you get invested in like obviously you can invest yourself with the anime characters, but interacting with them directly in the game, in my opinion, gives you a deeper connection with the characters. Because,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, you get to delegate your time. So it'll be like, okay, here's some free time. Choose which character you get to spend your time with. So
Oh,
if that character,
really?
yes, exactly. So if that character ends up dying, I feel like it gives you a bit of a more personal connection than an anime would,
That's
because you
so
directly
cool.
get to interact with them.
So,
Yeah.
like, do you get a time well, let's say you have 30 minutes, okay? So you have
Mm,
30 minutes to pick who you wanna bond with and get to know. And let's say I pick, I don't know, some dude on the left, and there's like one on the right and another one like in front of me, and I
yes.
decided to go with the one on the left.
Hmm.
Um, so the game has like everything set up from start to finish, but it goes depending on the order of whoever I decided to bond with.
No, exactly. So it doesn't do that. Everything's set in stone. This is
Uh-huh.
personally why I actually think it's good. You interact with the characters not knowing if they're going to die at all. It's already been set in stone which characters are going to die. You just have to basically spend the time with the ones that you think are interesting.
What are
So,
the odds for me to pick the ones that can't
okay, yeah, just from me
die?
knowing and playing the game, almost all of your favorite characters always die. It's the saddest thing. If it's so fucking
Okay,
sad. It's
question,
very
question,
sad.
question, question. If
Yes.
if character A, B, C, all right, and
Mm-hmm.
I go, so let's just say the character C is the one that's like gonna die. Like he's the one coming up next.
Yep.
Because I think they go like one by one, right?
Yeah. Well,
Okay,
no spoilers.
okay.
It can change and it changes.
So okay, that's my question. Like if character C is gonna die, and I don't know, obviously, and I go
Yes.
and talk to character A, is character C still gonna die? Like,
Yep.
okay, and if I go and talk to character C, he's still going to die.
Yes. So
Okay,
what?
okay,
Yeah, exactly. So in my opinion, it helps with replays because if you know the characters are going to die, you get to spend time with them knowing they're going to die, and you get some extra like dialogue with them and everything. Like knowing which
okay,
character is going to die makes it to where when you go back through again, if you ever do, you get to spend time with the characters that you know are going to pass, and maybe get some like extra backstory and like dialogue with them.
okay. Okay, then I'll probably play the game. It's on Steam. It's $20, I believe, the correct one.
Yeah, it should be
Um,
expensive.
I'm already liking the second one just because the bear has a bow and it's pink. So I just want to get
Yes.
to the second one.
In my opinion, the second one's even better. So if you like the first one, you're like, I want to play more. It only gets better, in my opinion.
Okay, okay. Well, that is Danganronpa. I can't say it. It has such a. What does the name even mean? Do you know what the name
Uh,
means?
no, actually, they just keep saying it during the game. They'll just be like, Danganronpa, and it means literally nothing. Like, I don't think they ever explain what it means at all. Probably has
Okay.
some meaning in Japanese.
Well, for those who are intrigued with the game, it is an anime as well. You don't have to play it, but you are also able to play it. It is a anime game, visual novel, mystery, detective, and horror. So if you don't like those categories of the game, then stay away from it. But you should
Yes.
at least check out the anime if it interests you. Now I'm gonna take us to The Last of Us. The Last of Us 1 and 2. So, I'm gonna let you have the stage on that. What are your thoughts of The Last of Us 1 and 2?
Oh, okay, well, I knew this was coming up when you said you had a question. I was like, I immediately thought about it. I was like, oh my god. Because I am notorious for hating The Last of Us Part 2. But obviously, spoilers, these are two very story-heavy games, and in my opinion, really the only interesting parts are the stories. But, oh my god. Okay, again, just same thing as Danganronpa. The Last of Us 1, so good. It's amazing. The Last of Us takes place in the post-apocalypse. We have a infection through a pretty interesting idea of these mushrooms called cordyceps. Basically, in real life, this actually happens, but there are mushrooms that can take over small insects and stuff. It's not. It's very tiny. They're not dangerous to us. But The Last of Us is like, what if these cordyceps, what if these mushrooms were able to take over human bodies? Like, what would this look like? And so The Last of Us 1 immediately starts off with this infection breaking out, and you get to see basically everybody running around be like, what the fuck is happening? Basically, zombies have broken out, and you get to see it in real time. And The Last of Us is a story of a man who, like I said, spoilers, he loses his daughter immediately. Like, it immediately happens. It's gut-wrenching. It's so good. And he has separated himself after a few years. I think it's around 8 or so at least. Or maybe even 20. It might be a decent amount. But him and his partner that he does jobs with are tasked with taking this new cargo across the country, and the new cargo ends up being a small teenage girl. And so The Last of Us is a story about loss. It's about connection. He learns to love this girl that he's been transporting like his own daughter, and it's so good, dude. It's amazing. The Last of Us will be like, this, dude. We're gonna go meet this character. Yeah, what's up?
Have you thought how fucked up that is, though? Like, in the head? Like, I lost my daughter, and now I just feel the need to take care of you.
Oh yeah, you mean the ending of The Last of Us 1?
Yeah, well, yeah,
Or
technically. Like, just in general, like, I understand why the character, got that feeling, because, he lost the only daughter, really, he had.
Yeah.
Who knows where the wife is? I don't know. I don't remember. I don't even care. But through that, like, that's a like a trauma, I guess. And me personally, I never played it. I watched the whole thing more than once. I never played the first game. That's a lie. I started it and then I stopped. But anyways, I didn't really like the ending. Like, I didn't. Like, I like that, obviously he didn't let the girl die. But at the same time, it's like, I don't think I would like for somebody to decide for me when I already mentally prepared myself to understand that this could be a outcome where I might be gone, but I am the reason of the cure.
Yeah.
That's what I didn't like. Me personally, I didn't like it. I think what was her name?
Ellie.
I think she did a great job at understanding that she can be the cure.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think it was very brave. And it's not as easy just to be like, you know what? Yep, I'm the cure. Now, like, take what you need and, buy world. Like, it's not as easy as that. And for Joel to come in and be like, yeah, no, because I have this fatherly affection towards you and I lost my daughter and we've been together and through this journey I grown attached to you and I kind of just need you to live because I lost my daughter and like I know you're not my daughter, but like I feel like a dad now that you're here. Like to me that's a bit too selfish in my opinion. But I like the way the story ended, as in like good game storytelling, ending, scenario, scene, effects, or like wording, or like how like the lie and whatever. I find that well done. If we are reviewing the game, I'm like, okay, this is more fucked up than like. I just think it's just not correct for somebody to take away your option when you're mentally prepared. That's my take on it. But everything else, the story, characters, how you see her being such a kid and like being a badass and stuff, like I like everything about that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I personally feel you were speaking to the ending, and I think your feelings are completely 100% validated because, in my opinion, that ending isn't 100% good or bad either way. Like when you say like he took away her right to even like she was ready for it and he took it away without her being able to consent to that, I think is 100%. The idea of that ending, in my opinion, is you're not supposed to be like 100% with Joel because Joel isn't a good person throughout the entire game anyways. He's not like he's not 100% good and he's done a lot of bad in his life. So by that ending, it's not something that when you play it or you watch it, you like, I agree with this. But Joel, in my opinion, isn't a character you should 100% agree with anyways, unless you're completely like a bad person anyways. So I think that ending, despite it not agreeing with the player, is 100% to his character. Like that is something he would do. The like, ending, like the way they wrote it and everything.
Like, do you think everyone thought the same way about like? Okay. Do you think people, when they finished the game, do you think they were like, oh, okay, and like the whole thing that I just said about I didn't like it because of this? Do you think that passed through people's head and like didn't think about it? Because like I feel like everyone likes Joel, right?
Yes, everybody loves Joel. But yeah, I don't think everybody loves Joel because he's a well-developed character. I don't think like you could have a beer with Joel, but you wouldn't really trust him. Well, I mean, you could trust him with your life if he cares about you the same way he does Ellie. But yeah, like I don't think he's. I think a lot of people did think about that. I've heard a lot of people be like, I agree. Like I would have done the same thing in his position. Like people who have kids who have a daughter or have a son, they understand that perspective of like I would have done the same thing like for my daughter or son. And then there are people who are like, I wouldn't have done that at all. That's fucked up. Like he basically ends the world with that. If it was, then there's also other implications. There's like, do the Fireflies, the ones that are like doing this and doing the testing to develop the cure, are they 100% sure that it would have worked anyways? Would they have just ended up killing her and then not really even have been able to develop a cure? Nothing's set in stone, and they don't answer those questions, but I think the game is stronger for that. Because you don't have answers. Like, you don't know 100% if Ellie got on that table and they operated on her. Like, who knows if that cure would have been able to be mass-produced with the equipment they even have enough for all the people? Who would have, like, who knows if the people who have already transformed, if they're too far gone, does it just prevent the bite? Like, there's all sorts of stuff that's never answered that I think a lot of people do think about. Like, I don't think everybody's like, Yeah, Joel's rad, and I would have done the same thing. Fuck the world. I think it's an ending that makes you think, and I believe, in my opinion, I can see both sides of it and understand why people would not agree and agree with what happens at the end of The Last of Us 1.
Do you think he deserved what was coming on the second game?
Um,
Without you being attached to the character.
do I think he deserves it? There's some stuff that I've talked about with friends where there's some there's some weird stuff I've talked about with my friend Javon where I'm like, he spent in the second game, it takes place a few years after, and he's kind of the idea like maybe he's softened up because he's pretty in the second game. Joel doesn't really feel like Joel at the beginning. Does he deserve what he got? 100%. Joel, like I said, is a bad person. He deserved to die, and in my opinion that was a good way to mirror the first game, so they had an equal. In fact, I think the second game is even stronger because of that, because your connection to Joel is so strong. But there are some questionable ways they go about it. Like, Joel basically is like, "Hello, stranger. Take us to your camp where you have all sorts of people. I trust you immediately." And you're like, would Joel have done that? In the first game, he teaches Ellie all about like survival, and he's not a trustworthy dude at all of anybody ever in the first game. Like, would he have done that? And then you think like, oh, maybe he spent like, I don't even know, like 8 years or so, or 3 years in that camp. Maybe he's grown soft. He hasn't been out surviving as much. Maybe he would just be like, yeah, I trust you. Who knows? It's kind of hard to say, but I think killing Joel was something essential, and yeah, 100% deserved through the second game.
All right, then let's get into the second game. I I like, even though some of the stuff were good, like some stuff, some stuff. Overall, like, I see, like, now that I hear you say, like, yeah, it makes sense. Does he deserve it? Yeah, blah 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 blah. It makes sense what you're saying about he didn't seem like himself. Um, I agree with that. I support that. Second game starts. Everything good. He dies, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? But okay. I'm gonna ask you two questions.
Okay.
One is obviously like whether you like it or not, which I think we both know the answer. But why is it that you don't like it, or why you like it, and what could have you no wait, I can't English, my bad. Okay. What would you done different in the way of not remaking the game, changing the story? No, placing certain like keeping the same story, just putting some stuff before or after, and blah 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 blah. So
okay.
How would you go about telling the story, same story, but putting it in different order? If you would change anything like that, and whether you liked it or not.
Yes.
And why?
I mean, great questions, by the way. But The Last of Us 2. Obviously a big fan of The Last of Us 1. I think The Last of Us 2 is pretty bad. Why I don't like it is the same reasons why The Last of Us 1 is so good. Is The Last of Us 1, the ending gives you things to think about. You're undecided. You can understand how this is like a deep topic. And I think The Last of Us 2, I think the ending doesn't give you anything to think about. I think every character you meet throughout The Last of Us 2 is boring because they don't give enough time to flesh out these characters. I think obviously The Last of Us 2, it's graphically amazing. It looks fantastic and it plays really, really well, especially for the time. It's been, I think, around 4 years or so. So it's a great looking game. It plays fantastic, but in my opinion, the story and writing just completely are lackluster. If you like The Last of Us 1, I don't know how you can like The Last of Us 2 because it functionally doesn't do what The Last of Us 1 does. Where The Last of Us 1, every new character you meet, they do a fantastic job of introducing them and having you care about them. The Last of Us 2, I feel like, doesn't do that with any of the characters. If you like the decisive ending where you get to be like, man, that was bittersweet, like, I don't know if that was the right or wrong thing to do, you don't get that from The Last of Us 2. And honestly, those are the only negatives. There's only two negatives. It's just it's actually just the writing. The writing and the storytelling are terrible. But the game is fantastic. Like, the game is so good. You play and you're like, I want to play more of this. I just want it without the story.
Do you think the game, like, would you wait? That game has online, right? Like a online system.
No, they
Or is
actually
it the first
canceled
one?
they have the online for the first one. They canceled the online for the second game, which I was actually really excited about.
Damn.
Because actually, after I finished The Last of Us Part 2, I said, I don't want to play the game for the story, but if they just had the combat, I would play this again.
Now,
But
how would you change, like, keep the same story, but make it better by changing, what to put first and second? And
yeah, so The Last of Us 2 does something different from The Last of Us 1, which is fine. You don't want the game to be identical to the first one. But in my opinion, it doesn't work. So I would have preferred if they'd done similar stuff to The Last of Us Part 1. Last of Us Part 2 is not linear. So the story takes place, it has a beginning, and then it has a middle, and then it takes place over the course of, I think, 3 days in Seattle, Washington. And then you take place with 3 days with one character, Ellie, the one of the protagonists from the last game. And then the game says, okay, you're going to do these 3 days again, but from the antagonist side. You're going to take it from the villain side. In my opinion, that slows down the game too much. And then it also really feels fabricated. Like, the game forces you to think like, oh, I care about this character because I've played as this character, because I've seen like, oh, her whole crew and her, like, basically family and everything, so now I care about this character. And in my opinion, The Last of Us Part 1 doesn't need to do that because it's so strong, but The Last of Us Part 2 feels so weak with these characters that it does feel like, oh, I have to spend time with like, imagine a game where you have to play as the antagonist to feel like you relate to them. In my opinion, that feels manufactured. So for me to make it better, I would cut out the part where you play as the antagonist, at least for the 3 days. If you still want to keep the stuff where, like, occasionally you switch between them, I don't think it works personally, but it's fine. I think that's doable. The game really has a lot of density in the middle, where it's like you play the game for 3 days in the game, and then you play the same 3 days again. And in my opinion, that just doesn't work. So I would, like I said, I would eliminate that.
I
And then
think,
just
yeah, go ahead.
oh, okay. I would take those 3 days that you spend as the antagonist and flesh out the characters close to Ellie more. So when the characters that get hurt on her side get hurt, you would feel mad at the antagonist because of that. Like, they're hurting characters that you've spent time with. And I feel like that would just make the game immensely better just by doing that. Just spending time with the characters that they introduce you to.
I think so. I just had, like, a random thought, like, not even what I was about to say. Do you think it would have been better, the story, if they would have put Ellie to like some sort of scenario where she has to pick who she wants to save, either Joel or the girlfriend? that the
Hmm.
that the woman put her in a situation where, you know, like like I'm gonna make up a quick scenario right now, okay?
Yes.
The woman like has Ellie like she beat the fuck out of her or something.
Yes.
And Joel is like laying there like about to die, and then the girlfriend is, I don't know, just tied up somewhere, right?
Right.
And the woman has like a gun or like buddies or like I don't know, and she's like, pick who you want to save, and then whoever she wants to save, like they kill the opposite one.
Right.
and
Yeah. Of
and then
course.
that like she gets pissed off, and then she goes into the whole revenge thing
Hmm. I think that would do it, but
because you know Joel killed the dad.
yes.
Yes, spoilers, this game's been out for a long while, sorry. So you know, and not only that, but Joel also took away the opportunity for Ellie to probably perhaps save the world. So you know, now they're kind of now instead of Joel having that option whether save the world or save Ellie, now that option is given to Ellie. Do you want to save Joel or do you want to save your girlfriend? Like kind of like a similar scenario.
Yeah.
I just came up with that. It just popped into my head. This is not even what I was gonna say. I was gonna say something else and I forgot. But yeah, like do you think that could have maybe felt a little bit better when it came
Yeah.
to the whole revenge thing?
I think it depends. Obviously, I don't think you can have the choice. I think that would have made a better connection with the girlfriend character because you don't spend time with Ellie's girlfriend very often in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So I think her name's Dina. I don't think you spend much time with Dina in the game, and so I feel like that at least would have established their relationship better. But obviously you can't let the player pick between the two. It would have to stay the exact same because nobody would pick the girlfriend character. They would just let her die every time.
That's
Cause,
true.
Cause you don't know her at all. So even if it were just like based off of her, like you don't know her, so you would just be like, yeah, I'm picking the guy that I've played the entire first game with.
Oh my god, you know what would have been great too? Okay, hear me out,
Okay.
What if the girlfriend was the other girl, like the badass, the like I don't remember her name, like the
Oh
muscular
yeah.
woman.
Yeah. What is her name? Fuck.
It's like a stupid name. Well, not stupid, but it's like a very basic name, and I don't remember it. Lydia.
Abby. It's Abby.
Abby. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
So, like, what if, like, I think this could work out a little bit actually. What if, like, Abby just like the role, not her herself, like the role that Abby plays in the game. What if, like, for some reason, okay, like, Ellie gets saved by Abby, and they're kind of like stuck like underground with all the like virus thing is at, and they have to like stick together in order to get out, basically like they need each other's help.
They have to work together.
Yeah, they bond through the whole, you know, kind of like Joel and Ellie, basically. They bond through that. They don't know each other. They met, you know, in this weird situation or whatever. I don't know. And then they separate at some point. They come across each other again because somebody's looking for someone, but they're not giving any information. They're just like, she's looking for I don't know who, and this other person is looking for I don't know who. And then they team up again because they gotta go the same way. And then at some point they find out that they're looking for the same person. Or like maybe they don't find out they're looking for the same person. And then either you can still go with what happened where like Abby kills Joel, and then Ellie's like, I'm gonna kill you.
Right.
Or you could put it where like the kind of example that I gave you, sort of, but more like either like like in a situation where like Joel is hurt and she's just, I don't know, kind of like stuck somewhere, but she has to save one of them, the outcome is still going to be the same, because if she saves Abby, Abby's going to want to kill Joel. But if
Yes.
he saves, like if she saves Joel, then Abby would be like they bonded and they kind of had a little bit of romance or whatever, and so it's like you're not picking the girl you like. So regardless of whatever, let's just say that the outcome is still gonna be the same, where
Right.
like Joel dies for whatever reason. Like something like that to me sounds more fucking interesting than them forcing me to play Abby, someone who I don't fucking know, somebody that hates like the two characters that we grew to like, and we've been through like a whole journey with them.
Yeah.
And then they're like, yeah, we're gonna have you be on a bridge shooting fucking Ellie. And I'm like, I don't want to shoot her. In fact, I'm gonna miss. Like, I swear, like, if that would have been me, I would have just kept missing all the shots, because I don't want to shoot her. The only way, without, like, obviously changing the entire story, the only way maybe the story could have worked a little bit better is if you start playing with Abby. Like, you straight up start playing with Abby. They make you think that this is another story, that it has nothing to do with Ellie and Joel.
Yeah,
right?
That'd be interesting. Yep.
You start with Abby. You learn about her. You play a little bit like from her past with the dad or whatever, and then like halfway of the game, maybe, I don't know, like you start hearing things through the game that sounds like the stuff that is happening that you're hearing about sounds like stuff that like Joel and Ellie are like they did in the past game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then she's like, is he, blah blah blah, and then she like same shit happens where like she kills Joel and stuff. Keep that the same if you want to. That's perfectly fine. And then like obviously Joel dies. I feel like the way he died was very pathetic, so I would make him more, cool. Like, I don't know, like he got shot by like getting between a bullet, like between Ellie and the bullet. I don't know. That seems a lot better than just like he kind of just let it happen. He was like, it's cool, just smash my head. Like, that's basically what he said. basically. So I feel like something like that would be better. Like, keep the same story if you wanted to, keep the same fucking ending. The ending to me made me feel like I wasted the entire time playing it, although I didn't play it. And in that way, I'm just like, give me a better end. Like, she was left with nothing, but that is a lesson learned. If you pursue too much this thing, like vengeance, if you keep pursuing vengeance, you're too blind to see the great things around you to appreciate. And she didn't even end up with the girl who was pregnant with a baby that wasn't even hers.
Yes,
and she
left.
Yeah. She also can't even play the guitar anymore because of her stupid shit. So she could have still had her fucking fingers to play the fucking guitar that, that signifies, Joel, basically. And then she would have stayed, like, she would have been the better person by just being like, you know what? Karma's a bitch, okay? Just saying. And then like she'll pursue her and stuff, and like she'll want to kill her and stuff, and then she's like, you know what, fuck it, and then like she goes with the girlfriend or whatever, but with like her fingers still intact or something. But she didn't accomplish anything. She didn't got the girlfriend, she doesn't have fingers to play the guitar, and she didn't even avenge Joel.
That, in my opinion, okay, so all that's a lot to consider, obviously. That's basically the whole game at the end there. So, in my opinion, why The Last of Us Part 2 at the end doesn't work, you were talking about how if you pursue vengeance and revenge, you end up losing everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, That doesn't make sense because at the very beginning of the game, Abby gets revenge for her father and then ends up with her little adopted Asian child and gets to live and doesn't lose her fingers. So
No, yeah,
obviously she
but
loses some of
like
her friends.
the way it was told in her perspective, she was literally left with nothing. Abby, I feel like I don't know what was the point. Like the damage was already done. The father was not gonna come back. She lost already all her friends. Like it's the same
Yeah.
shit. Like vengeance really like doesn't do anything other than ease your feelings for a short moment. So they're both in the wrong regardless. Abby for like trying to be a badass.
Yeah.
And if she, okay, maybe the only way, maybe I could have been like, Abby took vengeance, okay, but then she just took it like a bitch and said, you know what, I killed like Joel because he killed my dad, and then like if that was all there was and she's satisfied, because some people are like that, right, where you're like, okay, now I don't give a fuck because I lost my dad and now I just don't care what happens to me. So if she would have been like that and then Ellie would have killed her, I think her vengeance are more like, okay, I can understand a little bit how you're a little bit at ease because you beat the shit out of someone who killed your dad, and now you're like, I don't care what happens anymore. That makes a little bit more sense than just both of them like, yeah, I killed Joel, and now I'm just gonna walk away, and you're just gonna walk away with nothing too, and see you later, or maybe never. Bye. And I'm just like, what the fuck is that? So, like, I agree with you. I agree what you're saying. I wasn't trying to, like, let Abby get away with it either. But it just doesn't, like, I don't care about Abby, honestly. Like, she could get away with that if she wanted. Because, like, I just don't know anything about her. I don't care about her. I didn't, went through a whole badass story with her. Her purpose was very, like, she would just be running away, I think. Or, like, what did she do after?
I'm pretty sure her and the little Asian child just leave on a boat. Like Ellie lets them just leave California
No.
on a boat.
Like, what did she do after she killed Joel? Like, was she just running away from?
Oh yeah. So basically, the idea is that she went back to she was going back to her camp, like her original area in Washington. Which I mean, that also kind of doesn't make sense because I believe they were in Colorado at the time with or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was.
I don't know.
They were going from east to west, so maybe I don't know. I don't really understand. Maybe they moved to Washington. Maybe it doesn't really make a difference. But yeah. After she kills Joel, like her and the group are like, "Yeah, we did what we came here to do. Let's go back." And then that's what. Then you're chasing her as Ellie. But yeah, in my personal opinion, the best way, because the beginning imitates the beginning of The Last of Us 1 in the same way. The Last of Us 1 starts off with you immediately losing Joel's daughter. In The Last of Us 2, it takes a little bit longer, but you lose Joel. It's very similar. In my opinion, what would have made The Last of Us Part 2 better is if the ending mimicked The Last of Us 1's ending, where Ellie, you obviously don't get a choice. Ellie does end up taking Abby's life and leaving this Asian child alone to fend for themselves. And you, as the player, just like in The Last of Us Part 1, where you have to decide if Joel did the right thing, in The Last of Us Part 2, you decide if Ellie did the right thing. Like, did her
Oh my
losing
god,
everything, was it all worth it?
that makes more sense. Like, that's so
Yes.
much better.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I don't like The Last of Us Part
better.
2. Because that, in my opinion, makes more sense.
That makes
I
like kill the bitch
know.
and then think whether it was worth killing or not, and then just
Yes.
carry on with the kid like he needs you. That
Yeah,
makes so
yeah.
much. Oh my. Okay, we need to send like a letter. Like we need to put it in the interweb and be like, look, how about this? Hear me out. Yeah.
Yes.
But okay, yeah, that's a lot. That's way better than whatever the fuck I was thinking. But yeah, I was making it more complicated.
I've thought about the ending to The Last of Us Part 2 a lot. That's what I come to as the best ending in my opinion, that makes the most sense with what The Last of Us is.
All right. Well, we extended our time, but is there anything else you would like to share?
No, I think it was really fun getting to talk about all this. This is like a ton of fun.
All right. Well, thank you guys for hanging out and listening to us talk shenanigans about video games. Um be sure to like and share, leave a comment, let me know what you think. Feedback does help a lot. Be sure to check out Thebard 6 over on YouTube. He streams on YouTube. And is there anything else that you post stuff?
No, I'm basically just active on YouTube, basically. Just youtube.com/thebard6, or just look up the Bard 6 on YouTube and I should come up.
All right. Be sure to check him out. Subscribe. Sometimes when I'm not live, I'm in to stream and stuff. So you could also, do that. And I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you, Christian the Bard, for being here, hanging out.
Of course, thank you.
I hope it was fun. I hope you guys enjoyed everything, and catch you guys on the next podcast. The next podcast is actually gonna be interesting because we're gonna be talking about the Bridgerton with my sister-in-law. So for those ladies that like the Bridgerton, stay tuned for the next episode. And yeah, be sure to subscribe, leave a comment, leave a like, and catch you guys next time. You can say bye too, Christian.
Oh, bye-bye.
Bye.